I guess at this point the question isn't how did they turn a baseball comic into a completely unrelated action game on the Famicom? It's how did they do it twice? Bats and Terry was a comic about two high school punks who happened to be good at baseball. Bats is the pitcher and Terry is the slugger. There was also a short theatrical film that was released as a double bill with Dirty Pair. The comic was just wrapping up its publication when this game was released. The game has nothing to do with baseball and nothing to do with punks. The full title is Bats and Terry no Tetsujin Race, or Iron Man Race. And that's the theme. Bats and Terry have been challenged to a race through a complicated obstacle course. And what that means for gameplay, you have to run through some of the worst platforming on the Famicom as the time limit's ticking down. The controls are amazingly floaty. Everything you do sends Bats and Terry skittling around. And you have a surprising amount of control over your movement in the air. Okay, not really control, more like flailing wildly. The worst part is Bats and Terry requires a lot of precision platforming. You'll be jumping into cracks just barely tall enough for them, or you'll have to lean out on platforms, changing directions at the height of your jump, and landing on a precise one-block space. The platforming is terrible, and it doesn't reveal itself like that until you're a few stages in. This mountain stage is especially bad. It's the first vertical climbing stage, and going off the bottom of the screen at any point is fatal, even if you just went up, even if you take a ladder down. It's incredibly difficult to jump onto ladders due to how floaty the controls are. You have a bad tendency to just slide right off of them. And then there's one of the more nonsensical health systems. You start being able to take one hit. That's what these symbols are on the left. Whenever you destroy an enemy, you get one hit back, up to 5. There doesn't seem to be any invincibility frames, so when you get hit, your life just kind of drains away. If you run out of health on one character, then the other character steps in, but usually that means that they're instantly dead. Bats throws baseballs as a weapon. They're kind of weak, but they do bounce off of things. By default he throws them slightly downward, but by pressing up you can make him throw them slightly upward. You start out playing as Bats, and if you hit select while you're jumping, then you become Terry. Terry swings his baseball bat around. It's got no reach, the hitboxes on everything are terrible, but it does do extra damage and can hurt some things that Bats' balls can't. That was a really confusing sentence. The baseball bat has one special property. You can knock enemy attacks back at them. But this doesn't do any extra damage. You'll still probably have to knock back several attacks before you take an enemy out. Enemies in Bats and Terry have a lot of hit points, and they don't react to getting hit. So a lot of the time you won't know if you're doing anything or not. It's a very poorly thought out idea. One of the stranger things in Bats and Terry is that there's very few level themes, and the level geometry is reused constantly. Even on the later levels, you'll see the exact same structures that you were seeing in level 1. They even repeat the world bosses. This dragon's waiting for you every 4 stages to get beaten up. There are 6 worlds consisting of 4 stages each. And if you get a game over, you can continue by holding down A and pressing start. That'll take you back to the start of the current world. Fortunately, there are a lot of cheat codes in Bats and Terry. You want to start out with 99 lives? Level skip? Get 99 hearts? Full health? Well, there's a code for each of those. The hearts are something worth an extra mention. If you collect 100 of them, you get an extra life. There's probably about 10 per stage, and they're always hidden inside terrain that you can walk on. You have to either smash it with an attack, or jump up and hit your head into it. Really, it feels like Bats and Terry desperately is copying Super Mario Bros., but they didn't understand why some things are the way they are in Super Mario Bros. Bats and Terry is a game that I feel barely crosses the minimum threshold of acceptability. It's pretty bad, the controls are terrible, and the visual design makes everything just so muddled. Are these supposed to block you? Are you supposed to jump on them? But at the same time, it's a game that's functional. Bats and Terry is doing the bare minimum of what is necessary to be a platform action game on the Famicom. It's bad, but not so bad that you couldn't play it. It's the kind of thing that I could see myself completing on a dare. I'm never going to go back and play it on my own, though.